I'm planning to pick up a Cummins for the first time, and that's going to be on Saturday. If everything goes well, anything could happen. There are several Cummins that I looked at, and they just sell so quickly sometimes. It's hard to really find one that I'm looking for in my price range. This is something Ian and I have been wanting to buy for the last 4 years, but just haven't been able to do that. So this will be something that I think is going to be great for the channel. I'm going to show you how to do certain testing on it. I'll show you how to fix some things on it and make it a little bit better, so that if you have one of these trucks, then you can learn how to do that. And it's real, like some of the things I'm going to show you is not very hard, but if you don't pay attention to what I show you, then you could just be going around in circles and not really understanding how to work on your truck. And I think these things are really important, and there's a lot of things that people skip when they're trying to work on these vehicles because they don't really understand how things work, and they don't really understand how to run tests. So if you have a 6.7 Cummins, and even if you have the 5.9, then a lot of the videos that I'm going to make on this truck is going to be really helpful to you. Also, for the giveaway turbo, last week I dropped it off to get the laser engraving, and I'm waiting for that to come back. So I'm hoping to be able to finalize the giveaway next week, but we still haven't hit our subscriber mark, so I have about 500 more to go. So I'm not really in a big hurry until we get to that point. I'm trying to learn how to do giveaways by purchasing t-shirts, and to do it without a purchase would be really easy, but I think somebody's comment made a lot of sense. Like, if somebody was willing to purchase the t-shirt and wanted to enter the contest that way, then it would be a more dedicated subscriber. And I think that's really important, because there's probably a lot of people that have just came across the video just looking for something for free, and I don't think that's fair to everybody else. But and it may never go to somebody like that, but there's also that chance it could go to somebody who really doesn't have any use for this turbo, and I think that's important too. So I'm trying to still figure out the contest part. If it comes down to the point where I just run out of time, I'm just going to give it away to any random comment, and I'm going to do that through a comment selection. Or on the truck, the one I'm looking at that I'm wanting to get is a 2007 model 6.7 Cummins, and I'm also looking at an earlier model truck. I thought about buying both of these, but if I can only choose one, I'm going to go with the 2007 model because it's more practical for what I would need a truck for. There's one I'm looking at, and I want the audience's input. Is, would you like to see content on this truck? It's a 1981 Dodge first gen. Originally, no Cummins motor was in this truck, so it's not an original Cummins, but it's got a 12 valve swap in it, and it's got a compound set of turbos, and it looks like it's got a built motor. That one I think is very reasonably priced, and it's caught my eye, and I've been really thinking about buying it anyway, even though it's not really, I don't think it's really a practical truck, because I don't see me driving this thing comfortably at 70 miles per hour to go handle things with my turbo business. But to me, I think there's a lot of people out there that talk about doing the compound setup, but they don't know if it's right for them or if it's worth it. And I think that's really important, because in my opinion, I think the compound setup is overrated, because you can make in the 700 horsepower range without doing a compound turbo setup. So most people really don't need that. One thing I thought about doing with the compound setup, which I think would be just really cool, is to do two T51R builds on it. One's a S475 and the other one's a factory turbo. But I would also do an upgrade on the factory turbo, so maybe like a 62, 67 or a 67, 67. And I think that would be great content for the channel. So I want your input if I should buy one of these trucks or both trucks. And which truck would you rather have? Would you rather have an older model first gen that has a compound turbo setup on it, a 12 valve swap, or would you rather have a 2007 that's more practical for modern? I think it's more practical for modern driving, because back in 1981 it probably made more sense that you didn't have certain technologies, such as this truck does not have an airbag. It's probably not practical to drive at 70 miles per hour for 2 hours straight, just because it probably has a lot of noise in the vehicle, is what I would be guessing, based on driving older vehicles. What would you be more interested in? Do you want me to buy both trucks? I'd like to hear your comment and post that below so I know your ideas on what you think would be the best decision to make.